We are going to be using the CO2 tank, and we first need to make sure that there is any CO2 in it. Then we can take the tube that releases the CO2 and put the end of it in a container of water to see how much CO2 is flowing out. We don't want it to be too fast or it can mess up with your sample, so we just need to keep adjusting it until we get a few bubbles per second. So after adjusting, this is what we end up with. Now that the flow rate is what we want, we can attach the end of the tube to the bottom of the sample. We can tighten it with the wrench, but we don't want to over tighten it. So what I have done here is I connected a quick connector to the other bottom, and I turned both bottom valves on. And then I got the end of the tube and added to the container of water, and eventually we will see bubbles come out. So at this point, we are doing bottom to bottom. So the CO2 is entering the bottom part of the sample and also exiting out from the bottom. Now we're going to do bottom to top. So I just moved the quick connector to the top valve of the sample. All the valves are closed except where the CO2 is entering and exiting. We repeat the steps by putting the end of the exit tube in the container of water, and we will wait and see until bubbles come out. Lastly, we need to do bottom bottom top top. We want the CO2 to enter and exit out of the bottom, where it will then enter the top of the sample and also exit out the system from the top. So we want to keep the connectors where they are now. We just need to open the other two valves for all of them to be opened. Now we wait for the bubbles to start coming out. At this stage, it might take a little longer for the bubbles to make its way out, but eventually they will.